How many of you have heard students say, sim isn't real, or the mannequin's just plastic, and it's hard to treat it as a real patient? Me too. How many of you have used faculty or students to play patients or family members in your scenarios? Yep, me too. And how many of you have noticed students not engaging with the mannequin, or the student playing the family member not engaging in the scenario and just kind of sitting there? Or that faculty member you have playing a patient stepping out of their role while they're still in the bed and beginning to teach rather than play the patient. I've seen that as well. And how many of you don't think your scenarios have enough realism in them? Yep, I've been there too. I think these are common problems that we have, or challenges that we have with simulation as we continue to grow our programs. I know that I hear these same things from other simulation program coordinators or simulation faculty as I attend simulation organization meetings or conferences around the country. As a simulation coordinator at our institution, about 4 years ago, I realized that I really needed to get faculty and students out of those roles and into the roles that they are supposed to be. Faculty as faculty and facilitators in simulation, and students as the nurses in the scenarios. As I began to contemplate how to make this happen, a light bulb went off for me. Let's use standardized patients. I had learned about using standardized patients in my simulation certificate program. We actually had a day or two where we got immersed into standardized patient program development. We developed scenarios, we tried them out, we actually were students in the scenarios, and we got to evaluate the scenarios from both a faculty and student perspective. So I knew I had enough knowledge that I could bring that stuff to a program and at least get us started. But by no means was I an expert. So I reached out to colleagues in my area that I knew were running simulation programs with standardized patients. And they were great resources for me and pointed me to another very valuable resource. And that's a book by Peggy Wallace. The book is titled Coaching Standardized Patients. Peggy is the director of a simulation program at a university in California, and she's been instrumental in growing standardized patient programs and helping people understand what they're all about across the country. I actually even reached out to Peggy, and she was very helpful as well. Formal standardized patient programs are very common in university settings. However, you don't really see them so much in community college settings. In the university settings where they have multiple disciplines, utilizing them, they work well. They're using them for OSCEs, for skills validations, and high-stakes testing. And those universities have more resources to make those programs work. I haven't really seen them in community college settings, and certainly not just for nursing, which is kind of what I was thinking we needed to do. I'm very lucky at my institution in that we have a director of our nursing program that is very supportive and innovative. And as the simulation coordinator, I get to discuss with her regularly our issues, needs, desires, and successes with simulation. And as I discuss these issues with her and my idea, she brainstormed with me right away and was really right on board with the idea. And she took it and made it happen for us. She annually writes grants for us, and that particular year included the development and implementation of a standardized patient program in the grant she wrote. We got the grant, so the rest was up to me to recruit, train, and implement standardized patients into our SIM program. I want to share with you 3 things that I think are key factors in developing a successful standardized patient program in a community setting, community college setting: administrative support, recruiting, and training. You need the administrative support to have the backbone for the program. to be a competitive standardized patient program, you need to be able to pay your standardized patients. So you need money for that. You also need money for maybe costumes and props that you're going to need with your scenarios. You need facilities to make this work. You may need a changing room for them to change into their costumes, and you need an area where they can take breaks, they can rest between scenarios, and maybe even eat if they're going to be there for a long period of time. And third, you need structure, administrative structure to the program. If you're going to pay them, then they're going to need to be employees of the institution. So you're going to have a hiring process, and you're going to have a way to set up pay for them. So you need good administrative support for all of those things. The second is recruiting. So this is key to getting the people in. You need to have sources for recruiting, and they can be many. For me, I used our drama and theater department. I reached out to the faculty in that department and asked them to advertise this program to their students. We also have something called a peer learning program at our institution. And that's a program geared towards retired folks and provides continuing education for them. So I reached out to the staff who run that program and asked them to advertise to their program attendees as well. And then I used our alumni. We have an alumni Facebook page. So we posted on the alumni Facebook page information about this program and hope to recruit alumni from that perspective. And I constantly talk to our graduating students about joining this program as a way to give back to the institution. Then you need a way to recruit. And so one of the ways that can happen is information sessions. That's what worked for me. I held a number of information sessions, inviting all of the people from all of these interested parties, hopefully, to come to the information sessions where they learned a little bit more about the program, and I could get names to contact. So once I had a group of interested individuals, we then held interviews. And you want to interview the folks to make sure that they're a fit for your program. They really want to do this, they can make the commitment to it, and you get some idea of what scenarios they might be the best fit for. The third step, and really where the rubber meets the road, is the training. The first step in that is that the faculty have to develop the standardized patient scenarios. You can't simply take a scenario that you've been using with the mannequin and hand it to a standardized patient. You really have to take that scenario and turn it into a script for the standardized patient. It doesn't have to be a word-for-word script, but it needs to give them enough information so that they know how to play the role. And if there are key things that you want them to say or do, then that has to be in there. Then you need to train them. And that really is bringing them in and having rehearsals of the role. And so the content expert faculty and myself did this with the standardized patients. They came in, they got in the bed or in the chair or on the table and played the patient, and we played the nurses. And we went through the scenario as many times as we needed to get them comfortable with the role and for us to be comfortable with them playing the role the way we wanted them to. A part of that training is giving feedback to them and helping them tweak how they're responding, change the way they're saying things, etc., to get them to play the role the way you need them to. And that feedback is kind of ongoing because you may want to tweak the scenario. They may have a good day or a bad day. And again, we all need feedback ongoing. So again, administrative support, recruiting, and training are the three key factors to developing a successful standardized patient program. How's it working for us? It's great. We've been running along for about 3 years now. I have a small but dedicated staff of standardized patients. They do a really good job, but I'm constantly recruiting for more. The students love the scenarios with the standardized patients. I hear things like, I wish we would have the real patients in all of our scenarios. They make it so much more real. The most important thing, though, I think the students get from this is the feedback from the standardized patients. We bring the standardized patients into the debriefing sessions. They're out of their role now, and they give the students feedback from a patient perspective. This many times becomes the most powerful learning for the students during the debriefing session. So developing a standardized patient program at a community college is something that we all can do. If I can do it, then certainly you can do it. It really takes three things: administrative support, recruiting, and training. I hope this has given you some food for thought on developing a standardized patient program at your institution. And if you choose to take up that challenge, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.